Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. All right, we're going to talk a little bit about doing business in China. I think it's an interesting topic. I've got Stanley Chao here on the program, author of the book, Selling to China, a guide to doing business in China for small and medium-sized companies. And people out there, I know people are really big on, America first and buy American and that type of thing. And I'm a bit of a contrarian. I've written on this subject quite a bit. I think we need a little bit of Ayn Rand, Atlas Shrugged, one opportunity at a time. If our federal government, if our United States government makes it prohibitive for us to pursue the American dream, I don't think there's anything more patriotic for an American to do than to outsource in order to take care of their customers. I really believe that, and I know it's contrary, but let me tell you, every time we do that, we put pressure on the United States government to reform our economy and restore free market economics, which has just been chipping away for decades. So, you know what, and I get a lot of slack for it. I'm talking about exporting jobs. No, our government is exporting jobs, not me. Our government is creating an environment where entrepreneurs have no choice if they want to stay in business, but figure out how to make things more affordable. And that's why gentlemen like Stanley Chao, people like Stanley Chao, create opportunities for others to do just that. Stanley, welcome to the program.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And glad to have you on. And I'm actually kind of passionate about this, and people are so apologetic about, understanding why people would outsource. I actually believe outsourcing in this economy is the patriotic thing to do.
It is actually it's actually the best thing to do. You outsource, you make all your dirty products in China, you bring them back 40 to 60% cheaper, you reduce inflation, and you make things affordable for Americans.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep, absolutely. You got to love it. So tell me a little bit about your company that obviously consults people in doing this before we talk about the book.
Sure. I have a small company, all in consulting, based in Los Angeles for about 10, 12 years, and we mostly help medium-sized Western companies sell their products and services into Asia and mostly China today.
Okay. And how long have you been doing this?
12 years.
Wow.
I've been in China for over 20 years, but I've been consulting for companies for 12 years.
Yeah, interesting. And kind of give me a range of some of the companies in terms of type, size, that type of thing.
Mostly medium-sized, some larger companies, but today China needs a lot of industrial-type products to maintain their 8 to 10% growth. They want to make a commercial aircraft, so aviation products and services are doing well. China is 2 to 3 generations behind their medical technology, so anything medical. China is now the largest auto market now. They'll probably sell 16 million cars this year, so anything auto-related. China is also very polluted. So they need wastewater management, clean air technologies. They need ways to reduce their carbon footprint. So these industrial-type products are all selling very, very well.
Mm-hmm. And meanwhile, you mentioned they have their own car. Are they selling that in the West very much?
Right now, all their manufacturing in China is for the domestic market. But I can see in the next 5 to 7 years, they're going to start wanting to export to the West, primarily the U.S.
There was a Chinese company at the recent International Auto Show in Detroit, with a product. And so, but I think right now most of them fail to comply with environmental regulations for this country.
Yes, most don't. But again, a lot of the auto companies in China are actually Western companies, Ford, Chevrolet. They all have joint ventures. So I got to think Ford China eventually is going to want to bring back cars to the U.S. Yeah.
Yeah, no question about it. Stanley Chao, our guest, Selling to China. When did you write your book?
Why?
When?
Just came out November last year. Yeah.
Congratulations. And so it uses the term guide. Is it kind of step by step?
It's yes, it is. It's not a macro view of China. It's not going to give you a 30,000 foot picture of what's happening in China. And there's so many books out there that already give you that. this book gives you the nuts and bolts. A company that doesn't have anybody that knows about China, that they want to go to China, what are the first things that you're going to have to do? This book is going to guide you as you make that first steps into China.
So, but the reality is your book is really helpful, but I know enough about the market. You've got to have somebody like yourself in order to actually make it successful. There's no question about it.
Yes. I would say at least for the first 12 to 18 months, have an employee that has worked in China or work with a consultant that has been doing business in China. A lot of people think, we're selling into Europe or we're selling into South America. What's so different about doing business in China? They go there and they make a lot of mistakes.
Yes, they do, and a lot of the mistakes have to do with the fact that China is unbelievably relationship driven, isn't it?
It is. It's less so than it was 30 years ago when you had to know people in the Communist Party, but you would be better off having to work with someone that knows China, knows some of the people, that has contacts, so you can get off the ground running instead of kind of slowing the process down.
Okay, talk a little bit about the type of products and services that are coming out of China for your clients.
Products right now that you mean products that are selling into China?
No, that are being made for your clients. Your U.S. clients are being made in China.
Okay. 10 years ago, we were making rather low-tech type products. We were doing a lot of toys, a lot of syringes, Band-Aids, wheelchairs. I've noticed things over the past 2 years. Things are now getting very, very high tech. We're making now advanced lighting products, advanced medical products, and companies today are even now saying, or even asking us to say, hey, we want to move some of our R&D now to China. We know engineering talent is abundant and cheap, so let's move our R&D, or part of our R&D to China, and let's sit it alongside a manufacturing plant. So energy, again, auto-related, medical, nanotechnology now is doing very well in China.
Okay, and so and even services, and I don't think most people think of it in the context of providing services. Tell me some of that. Explain a little bit of that.
Well, China is not the China that our parents knew. Chinese are graduating. Many more scientists, many more graduate students in engineering. Many Chinese are coming over here to study engineering, English, and then go back. So you have engineering services, architectural services that are doing very well, and their services are cheap. You could hire a electrical engineer in China for about $40,000 to $50,000, which might cost you over $100,000 here in the U.S.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And at $40,000 or $50,000, he's among the most affluent in China.
Yes. Exactly.
The average income is $6,000, is my understanding, in China, which is significantly higher than what it was just a decade ago, but it's nothing compared to Western standards.
Right. Exactly.
And so $40,000, that guy's a six-digit guy by Chinese standards. So
he's very wealthy.
Yeah, very wealthy. And so you can expect to get the same kind of professionalism and quality that you would from a Western engineer.
I think you can today. Their English may not be as good. They may not understand, let's say, the business ethics. So you may have to spend some time explaining to them what they cannot do and what they can do. But in general, as you're hiring the younger generation, the people in their 20s and 30s, they're becoming much more westernized. They eat at McDonald's.
Sure.
They watch Friends on TV in China. Yeah.
All right, Stanley Chao, he's been our guest wrapping up today's program. His company, allinconsult.com. That's all as in ALL. stanleynconsult.com. Go there, learn more about what he's all about. You can get some excerpts of his books, plus much, much more. His book's selling to China. You definitely want to check that out. Thanks for being with us, Stanley.
Thank you for having me today.
All right. I hope everyone out there has a great rest of their day. Do want to remind them, best content here shows up over there at usdailyreview.com. While you're there, like him on Facebook, follow him on Twitter. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Spend it sensibly right here on this great station.